This is your boy from Limpopo, a proud Limpopian, Mfana Dinamuneng Mfana ZB, where greatness prevails. My name is Wabella Madimeja Austin, and I'm with my crew. We're trying out this podcast thing for the first time. We've always wanted to, have opinions on certain things, really. But not necessarily have opinions, but, just like vocalize our opinions. It's not even about fame. It's not even about what. Just we've always wanted to do this. So I guess this is us fulfilling our dreams, and to everybody listening out there, this is it. If we can do it doesn't matter, don't put magnitude on your dreams. It doesn't matter how big, how little, how whatever. We've always wanted to do this, and we found out in our second year at Varsity, after being friends for a whole year, that we've actually wanted to do like a podcast, a radio presentation of some sort. So I'm not rolling alone tonight. I'm rolling with my crew, Mr. Sambo.
Mr. Bapela, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good. So, yourself?
I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, the name is Blessing Sambo, the boy from Mpumalanga. No straight Mbombele la ukuthola khona utholakala khona kukhuluma khona Maswati. But sina bangisho bathi labankhuluma bathi ke ngiyekele ndvotsana indvotsana ya Sambo. Yeah, man, it's not all about the fame. It's all about doing what we want to do, what we've been wanting to do actually. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy from Mpumalanga. Blessing is the name, and being a blessing is part of the game. Damn these guys.
Oh yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're not rolling alone with the brother from Mahi King. Brother, introduce yourself, man.
Away, gents. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Katleho signing in. How's everyone?
We good, my brother. We good.
Nah, man, we're fine. We're good. We're super good. We're super energetic, man.
Yeah, I can feel the vibe, man. You just
we hype, man. We hype. This is like some sort of dream come true, man. This is some sort of dream come true. So we ecstatic right now. So yeah,
it's inspiring to see brothers happy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man, it's always inspiring. So ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into it. So
sure.
We were looking around for a startup topic because, like I said at the beginning of this, we've always wanted to do this. So this is us just winging it with no experience. And then we figured that now, man, let's talk about our first year experience because like I said, we second year, so that makes us that means in 2020 we were first years at Varsity.
Sure.
And then we never really had the first year experience. And then today, as we started this podcast, we actually went to Gold Reef City as some sort of, I don't want to call it a challenge, but then I guess it was just to compensate for having missed out on first year.
Yeah,
it was actually a pretty great day. So, we just thought, let's talk about first year and first year experience, the whole concept of first year experience, what's first year experience to you? Because, it differs with every one of us. My definition of first year experience, somebody's definition of first year experience, somebody else's definition of first year experience. They all differ, So, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, well, that is really true, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a long day, but because of the love that we have for podcasts, because of the love that we have for radio in inverted commas, we decided to do this not for just us, but because of you guys who are hopefully gonna be our loyal listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start with it. Mr. Katleho, what's your take, or how would you describe your own first year experience?
Well, I would say for me, my first year experience was just it was, I'd say not fun, but just normal, because when I arrived here, man, I had this mindset that maybe I was scared to interact with people. Do you get me?
Sure.
Yeah. I feel
so I was more in my own box, So I didn't explore all the elements that first years should explore. So I tried when I came back for the second quarter after the first COVID lockdown, and I started interacting with people more often.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kat, the thing you said, you said something very interesting. You said shoot, a first year shoot experience. So, do you feel like it's very important that a first year goes to varsity, be it college? Goes to varsity or college, and then they have to get into things like freshers party, nani, because it's mandatory for a first year to experience such. Because you said something first year shoot. So it's like it's mandatory for a first year to experience certain things. As a first year, do you really feel like
Interesting.
that's something people should be, you
Sure.
know?
It's not mandatory to say. It's not like you're rule bound, but for yourself to enjoy your years in varsity, you need to get out there and like meet as many people as you can. And one thing I realized about varsity is like there's like literally everything for everyone. Anything for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if you get me.
Sure, I get
get
So like, if you're the book guy, you can find niggas who'd stay. You can find guys who'd stay and read with you. If you're a chess guy, you can find chess gigs. If you're a party guy, you can find partying gents and always have a bomb. Go, there's like literally everything for everyone. There's always gonna be a circle where you're gonna be able to fit in.
Sure.
Don't go there with the mentality of, oh no, I'm in a new environment, I don't know anyone, let me just stay in my room and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you know, I feel very answered right now, you know, because in my mind, the thing that I thought when they said first year experience, I always thought like maybe going out late at night, you know, partying, and in my mind I was like, I mean, that's not really me, you know. I like to think of myself as a laid back kind of guy. I'm not really into crowds, introvert, one might say, you know. And there's actually this hand that I guess I met in my matric year. Like, she calls me a loner for some reason. But then, yeah, so like when everybody said first year experience, I thought, okay, so now like I'm expected to go to parties, nani. But then right now, like I'm actually satisfied with your answer. You know, you put it into perspective.
Yeah.
When you come to varsity, when we say experience the best of your first year, we don't mean go out partying. We don't mean go out doing something. We just mean interact with people, you know. And like Caterpillar put it, you know, you're gonna meet your circle. You're gonna meet people who actually you are gonna belong. You're gonna fit in without even trying hard. You know, without even trying
to fit in. Because I personally believe I'm one person who's I'm actually a bit more like you, Mr. Madimecha. I'm one person who does not really like crowds. I'm one person who's not into partying. But I got to find myself. I actually got to discover myself more as a person. As I got to arrive in varsity, having to understand the person that I really am, as the introvert that I am. Well, introvert to other people and extrovert to other people. But at the end of the day, it's all about finding where you belong, because I believe varsity is a place whereby you meet different personalities, and you just gotta find who you are as a person, and then that is when you get to explore and see in where you belong, because it's not all about fitting in. If you're trying to fit in, it's just it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah, you see, like now this puts it into perspective for everybody out there who had a stereotypical mindset like me, that when they said experience your first year, it means going out boozing, and then now you are like, okay, so this is mandatory for a first year to do, but then what if I'm not into such things? Now I'm gonna be perceived as boring and
Sure.
So Caterpillar put it nicely that, you know, experiencing your first year, living the best, making the best out of your first year doesn't necessarily mean going out clubbing.
Sure.
It just simply means finding a place where you fit in without trying to fit in, you know.
Yeah.
So to everybody out there listening, you know, like people who might be coming to varsity this year, we're not saying we've had experience, we're not saying we know it all. This is just like our opinion.
Sure.
How we see certain things.
As people
now
who
I've
went
just
through
gotten
it.
educated.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, I've just gotten educated. Like experiencing first year doesn't necessarily mean clubbing, partying, whatever. It just simply means going out, interacting with people, and meeting your kind. You know,
meeting your kind.
One thing I've realized,
meeting your kind.
Yeah. Because one thing I've realized is that you need people. You know.
Sure.
Sorry, Mr. K, for interrupting me there, but
yeah. So. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you can continue.
What's your mindset when you get that message says, whatever university you are in, Here's an offer. You have 3 days to accept. What's running through your mind? Share with the first year.
All right.
Maybe they can relate or something like
All right,
that.
that's actually a beautiful question. Let me talk about my experience per se. Right. So in how it happened to me. Okay, since this is our first vlog, not a vlog, man, our first podcast. I believe we should get the listeners to know who we are. Well, okay, we are we are second year students at the University of the Witwatersrand. We're doing clinical medicine, right? So all right, so let me start by the day I got my matric results. After getting my matric results, messages started popping in. I remember the University of Johannesburg. That was the first university that sent the acceptance letter. I was so happy because what can I say? I think I had reached a point where I was like, I wanna be a what's this thing gonna? I wanna be a chartered accountant at some point. I was like, as in, let me be a chartered accountant for once. So I got an acceptance letter from UJ saying I've been accepted to do chartered accounting. I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going in. And a few hours later, Wits pops in. So like, here's an offer. You've got 3 days to accept. I'm like, okay, all right. And then from there, some other varsities came. And I was there like trying to make sure I make the best decision that I have to make. I mean, I had to be like, okay, is it Wits? Is it UJ? Is it this school? Is it this school? Is it this school? You know? And then I was like, okay, let me rather go to Wits University. Then okay, I took the offer that Wits gave me, and I was like, let me try this out, man. And yeah, I'm doing my second year, and I'm actually happy, and I'm actually happy of the decision that I make. I mean, it was a huge decision, and I believe that many first years 2020 matrics, that has to be the most difficult decision that you're gonna make. But just make sure that you make the best decision that you have to, because it can be crazy. It can be crazy. Deciding your fate, deciding your future, everything. You have to decide that in a few days, and it is what it is. You just gotta do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't have to overthink it, guys. Okay, it is your future, so you have to overthink it, but like, it shouldn't consume you that much.
Yeah.
It shouldn't consume you that much. Yeah. But Madimeja, what advice would you give to first years on the process they should follow, from registering to like basically an itinerary of coming to universities? How should they prepare for university?
Whoa, caterpillar, yo, yeah, you really chose the wrong guy for this advice, because for me, legit coming to varsity, like, it was kind of a blur the week I had to come in for registrations, because I registered online, and then I had to complete this. What was that thing we had to complete? Biographical data, data, biographical questionnaire.
That
about the kind of school we went to. And that. So then I couldn't, after registration, how the ICT at our school sends you the password, so you can now, because you have a temporary password, and then now they send you like an official password after you've registered. So like that's sort of an acknowledgement, which now you are one of us.
Sure.
So then they sent me that, but then I had the thing is, they sent me that, and then I had messed up like my numbers and all that, so I didn't get the password, so I couldn't complete the biographical questionnaire. So like for the week before coming, I was very scared. I was legit very scared, thinking, so if I don't complete this biographical questionnaire, they're going to reverse their acceptance decision. So like that week was a blur. So like I had to do everything fast. Like for me coming to varsity first year, it wasn't, how like normally people leave their house and they're prepared, they buy everything, your parents tell you this. For me coming to varsity, it was actually a very stressful time, because there was a day where it seemed very blurry. I was like, you know what, man, maybe this is not happening, maybe this is God trying to say. I'm a huge believer that I'm a Christian. I'm guessing you figured out that so I'm a huge believer that God, says things like without even directly saying them. Like you might be trying to do something and then something blocks you. I'm a firm believer that that's God saying you shouldn't be doing this. So like in the week that I was supposed to come for registration, I had registered online, but then after not being able to complete the biographical questionnaire, I was like, okay, maybe this God trying to say to me that you shouldn't be going to the school. But then luckily, I know people who know people. So I texted this girl, and then she knew another girl who actually was going to Wits, and then she said, nah, the biographical question is not a problem, but then you're gonna have to come in, since you can't complete the biographical questionnaire because you don't have your new password. You're gonna have to come in, get your ICT number. The ICT number is like on your student card. So like it was a Sunday. I remember vividly. It was a Sunday. Like the next Monday was, I think it was the last day of health science registrations. So I was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do now? And then at the very same time, I was like, my brother was not around, so I couldn't exactly just pop up in Johannesburg. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? If I don't leave tomorrow, then I feel like they're going to, take back their acceptance off and all that, even though I had already registered. But at that point, I didn't know how things worked, So I did everything in a rush. And then I got here and it turned out to be, the biographical question was not even a big deal. So then I spent the whole week like going to and from our school, just trying to figure out how these things work.
Deep.
But it was really a crazy time. So I guess the advice right now I would give to first years, like take your time, Because I don't think I ever really took in the time to digest. Okay, now I'm going to a different environment. Transitioning from high school to, because I feel like when everything goes, okay, not necessarily smoothly because it sounds some kind of way, but then when everything goes according to how it should be going, then I feel like you taking the time to digest that, okay, it's cool, I'm expected to have this. Because for me, I just rocked up here the next day trying to fix that. Trying to protect my acceptance offer. And then that day I learned the biographical question you can complete at any time. But then I'm really glad that I came at that point in time, because I don't really think things would have went the way they went. I don't really think I would have met you guys if I had came like a week after and all that. So I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason.
Yes, sir.
Which I feel like I'm deviating from Mr. Kat's question, but then the advice I would give to first years and all that in terms of registrations, breathe in, like let it all sink in. Don't be scared, don't overthink like I did. Don't think they're going to take back their off and all that. Like just lay back, understand now you're switching environments and let that sink in. Because for me, I never really had the time to let that sink in. I was trying to fix my issues, and then before I knew it, like class was starting and so hence I feel like I never really got the first year experience. I never really got to experience a week, because throughout the whole of orientation week I was pretty much stressed about where this is going to come from, where that is going to come from, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do that. So, and then after like sorting out everything, I realized I was legit stressing about nothing. So like the advice I would give to first years coming to varsity, whichever varsity you are going to, like just breathe, calm down, everything is gonna work out, and like take everything as it goes.
Sure.
I feel like the whole week is the week where you meet people. As Kat put it at the beginning of the podcast, you find your circle and all that. Mostly like genuinely speaking, the people you meet during a week aren't really going to stick around that long, but you just meet them because it's a week.
I don't even remember the people I met.
Because I don't remember anybody I met during a week.
I don't even remember.
I don't really remember anybody.
I think the beautiful message we can take from Madimeja's story is that first years is that after you get your results, you might encounter administration problems, and a lot of us it kills us, and we don't even try. We just give up right there and even though it's something small. So Madimeja's message basically is, if you have an acceptance letter and someone who's gonna fund you, just go with it. Whichever university you're going, just go with it.
Thank you, Caterpillar. You've articulated it well.
It's gonna work out at the end. Go with it.
Just have faith in whatever you believe in, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, whatever religious group you are, whatever thing you believe in, whether you believe in fate, destiny, just as long as these things are in order, then like forget about the small stuff. They are gonna work themselves out.
So, Mr. Blessing, before the Corona era, okay, it's I don't remember the date, so to say, okay, somewhere late January, first day you type your student card into Wits, You walk in, you see the marquees, everything. What's going through your head?
Yo,
Oh man.
now you've just touched my heart, man. So, all right. Growing up, I didn't necessarily have a dream university, such as having to say Wits was my dream university. Well, I just wanted that one career, but I did not necessarily have that dream university. But Wits University is huge. It's a big university. It is well published. I mean, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Television, you see it. Newspapers, you see it. So the first day I walked in, I saw the one thing that stood out to me has to be the those big columns there by the Great Hall. I saw those big columns. I was like, damn, I know this. But I'm like, where do I know this from? I'm like, okay, is it the television? I'm like, okay, it has to be the television. I'm like, okay, now I'm finally in Wits University. And in 2019, we had this other, should I call it a telenovela? But there was this other thingy on television that usually played around 7:30. It was called this Tembiso. That thing usually, like, if Wits University was very dominant in that. Allow me to call it a telenovela because I'm not really sure what it was. So,
All right.
Yeah, it's a telenovela.
Telenovela, right? So,
Yeah.
they had this other student accommodation, this other res. I think it's called Noswald Hall. So I saw it. I was like, no ways. Is it that hall? I was like I had a lot of things in my mind, but I was super excited. That's one thing for sure. I was like, if this can't be me, I'm like, well, I made it. Like, I'm inside. I was like, no ways. So like I had a lot of things. Like I'm sure you can just hear the excitement from how I'm speaking. But like it was legit. Like, damn, this is more like a dream coming true. Yet I did not necessarily have that dream, but it felt like a dream coming true. I mean, it was so beautiful. Yeah, it was so beautiful because coming from Mpumalanga, I was not one person who actually traveled from Mpumalanga to other provinces. So typically, going to Wits University, that was actually my first time going to Jersey. So I'm seeing all those big buildings. I'm like, okay, this place has huge buildings. I'm like, yo, I'm engineers at Mpumalanga. They're not really working, but that's not really important.
Yeah, man. They're not putting in the effort,
I'm
these
like,
guys.
These guys can do such
They're
things.
giving us the bare minimum. Look at what people in Joburg are
Exactly.
doing.
Not to discredit
It's crazy.
not to discredit Mpumalanga people, but
Shout out to Mpumalanga engineers. You know,
Shout
you guys
out,
are doing an
shout
amazing
out,
work,
shout
but
out.
you really should be taking pointers.
exactly.
Into, like,
Shout out, Buffett. Yeah, Leo, we're proud of you. But yeah, man, I'm like, this place is crazy, man. This place is crazy. Like Ichos and Faith too. I'm like in Sechozi. I'm in Bramfontein. I'm seeing in Nelson Mandela Bridge. Way as a person who believes in, I'm one person who loves politics. So I'm like, okay, that's the Nelson Mandela Bridge. I mean, you cannot. I'm like, that's the Nelson. So, like, I can't even put words accordingly, man. Like, it was that crazy. Like, I was super excited. So first things first, I had to go do my student card. Doing my student card. I went inside. They asked me details. So after this other lady asked me, she was like, so you're coming from Malanga? I'm like, yeah. I mean, she could hear that from my Siswati. I mean, Siswati people people are known from coming from Mpumalanga. So I'm there.
That tea.
Yeah, Siswati, those teas, you know. It's those crazy little things. I mean, the accent, they're like, yeah, so I'm there, like, and so she checks my address, my home address. She's like, Matulu. And the Matulu is known Gagaskim Sam. There's this other character who portrays she plays the character Galelo. So she was known Amanda Dupont. So yeah, now she's known from coming from Matulu. So she's like, so you're coming from Matulu where Ulelo is coming from? I'm like, wait, I've never seen Ulelo in my life. But yeah, all right, sure, that Matulu, that's where I'm coming from. And no, Matulu is not Swaziland, it's in Mpumalanga. You guys. So yeah, it's that. I was super excited. I can't even put words like accordingly. So I got in there, they took a picture of me. That picture is still in my student card, my 2020 student card. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I'm finally doing this. It's a huge jump, man, from high school to varsity. A whole new environment. You get to believe, Yazin, beg, I'm now doing about Khori, meeting different ethnicities. I mean, a few years ago, I did not have Abu Khori in my speech, but yeah, I am. So yeah, beautiful. You get to learn different.
Look at you now.
You get to learn different languages. I mean, Ukatlego is more Tswana peri, Umadimeja is peri. So Amasutu, Ama Kosa. So you get to be like, Yazin, this is a beautiful environment. You get to find fascinating traits about yourself that you didn't know about. Yeah.
So Madimeja, how do you adapt from moving from I don't want to call it, okay, yeah, let me call it what it is. Left from home, moving to rest, now shifting into a university like platform, living alone, waking yourself up every morning, doing your own thing. How do you shift? Yeah.
I'm offended by the fact that you thought they woke me up at home. You know, that's very offensive. I'm hurt by that. Very hurt by that.
But like, I feel, sorry. But now I was woken up, so I don't see a problem with that.
I was an OG, man. I was an OG. You know,
I couldn't wake up myself. Cheers.
Good.
Hello, you guys woke yourselves up.
Yeah, you know, alarms and all.
Okay. Things that are different from home, then how do you change into an environment? Because rest is totally different from home.
Totally.
So how do you shift into that environment? How do you change? What is the mindset?
What do you mean? So the mindset, according to how I believe it, how I can put it rather. Rest is crazy, bro. Like, rest is crazy. You're legit in your own house, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you start feeling guilty as in, okay, I'm living in my own house. Everything, like, you're responsible for feeding yourself, number one. You're responsible, as in, even the dishes, after eating and everything, once you leave the dishes, basin, you're gonna find them there. Like, you're just on your own. So it's
and Caterpillar. Let's take off where we left off, gents.
Yeah. We're back with part 2. So as I was saying, Madimeja, share with us how you moved from home space back in Zebulon to rest. How was the adapting? How was the change from Zebulon to rest?
It's not Zebulon, man. You see, now the whole of ZB is gonna come after you. It's not Zebulon, it's Zebediela. Where did you even get Zebulon from?
Who's Zebulon can? Oh yeah.
You see, the whole of Limpopo is now gonna fight you, man.
Yeah.
We're out here producing oranges, and then now you call us Zebulon. ZZ2, man. Put some respect there.
ZZ2, my tomatoes, man.
Yeah. It's actually the oranges, but yeah, the tomatoes work too.
Yeah, but I think I eat ZZ2 tomatoes.
Oh yeah, nah, that's us too. But all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, so Caterpillar, to answer your question, really, like the adaptation from home to varsity. Like I've stated at the beginning of the podcast, which I'm not really one for crowds. So that was the one problem I had, you know. Got me, like it was a huge transition for me, honestly, because back at home, like I like my own space, you know. I like things a certain way. So now in the back of my mind I was thinking, okay, now I'm gonna have a roommate, I'm gonna have to be considerate. And the thing about me is, like, I like things in a way that people wouldn't really be caring about, you know. I've hung out with you guys, you've seen how I am when it comes to like the whole walking barefoot, you know, walking with your socks on the ground and such things, you know. So like I like my own space. I like things a certain way. So leaving my own personal room to now coming to share with somebody else was going to be a huge transition. And at home, like I don't really have a lot of people coming over to visit, but then I knew that when I came to here, and another thing, making friends for me is not, it's not exactly my forte, So I was like, okay, so when I get there, how am I going to make friends? Because I have friends at home. So I think we are now 5 or so. I met them like first day of grade 8, and then we've been together throughout high school. So I've never really been one for just like losing bonds here and there. So I thought, okay, neither one of my high school friends is coming to the school I'm going to. So how am I going to maneuver around? So it was a really, really huge transition. But then I got here. The first week was a blur. It moved out too fast. It moved out of the way too fast. Like I said, because I was stressing about the small stuff, stuff that really, in retrospect, I really shouldn't have been stressing about, should have been there enjoying my own week, trying to interact with other people. But then I was in my shell, I was thinking my own things. And then before I knew it, class had started. But the thing is, like life has a funny way of giving you people you need when you aren't even aware that you're going to need them, So when I met you guys, I wasn't really going out of my way to try and make friends. So like I just met people randomly somehow, and then here we are today. They became like the biggest part of my life, and so that was the big transition. But then coming to rest life and all that, it was crazy. When I have no Satan. But then like in terms of rest life, it was a really, really huge transition. And somehow by some miracle, God does wonders every time. I found like the most, I don't know, like what's the perfect term to describe it. I found a brother, at least a temporary brother, at least, when I moved to rest for a roommate. Because I've had, how we hear stories about like roommates from hell and all those. So like I had read up about Joburg, and I had like my own idea of Joburg. I had my own idea of rest life, before I even got to experience rest life. And then I came here, I found this amazing dude, really, man. Like I can't really, like, man, like that was the best roommate anybody could start off with, So like we legit like somehow, somewhere, like we just gelled, in a way. Like we never had any fights about things that people would normally fight about. How somebody like would leave their roommates, somebody would leave their dishes, we just fell into this pattern which there's nobody's anything, So if I find dishes, his dishes, my dishes, and I came back from class earlier than him, I would do them, So then we fell into this pattern of we tolerated each other. Okay, no, we didn't tolerate each other because I make it seem like we actually hated each other, but then we just lived together.
Like so we just gelled, basically.
We gelled, man. He legit was an amazing roommate. So like the transition was much easier after that, because he was like, he had a varsity experience. He was not a first year. So like he legit helped me with a lot of things. I don't want to lie, man. He taught me a great deal of things, I would have, like, he would sit me down, tell me that, I remember one of his quotes in my first, okay, I can call it a quote, I guess, in our first block, I was stressing with, okay, how do I study as a first year? How do I do this? How do I do that? And then like I would stress so much that I ended up wanting to sleep because I was stressing. And he legit, to this very day, I still remember. Like it's not the wisest of words or anything, but then they had a huge impact on me. I even wrote it down and attached it to like the notice board. Like the rest I stay in, each side has like a notice board. That's the first quote I attached to my notice board. And he said to me, stop stressing, start studying. It doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter how far you feel like you are left behind and all that. Because in the first couple of weeks, I really felt like I didn't belong. I really felt like I didn't fit in as a first year, because I felt like my classmates knew more. So like that made me feel like, okay, man, I don't really know enough. I'm not really putting in the effort. So that stressed me. And then I would come back to Rez and explain to him that, Joe, like people in my class, I feel like they're moving way too fast for me. I don't belong here. And as Mr. Sambo had said, Wits is a very prestigious university. So like the pressure was there in its, like the academic stage of the school there, like the pressure was there. So I would come back and complain to him and tell him that, nah, man, I feel like I'm not doing enough. And then he then told me, nah, stop stressing, start studying, you know. So like he also helped me a great deal when it came to my transition.
Yeah.
So to anybody out there coming to varsity or college or wherever, you know, just hope and pray you meet somebody I met last year, you know, like these are the kind of people that make transition much easier, you know? Like you don't have to stress about certain things. You just have to hope and pray that somehow you meet an amazing roommate. I mean, they are like, we hear stories out there about roommates from hell, but then for me last year, you know, the dude really helped me a great deal, because the transition from home to here, like, I don't know, man, it always felt like home, you know. You know how you dread coming back to your room because you know your roommate is a shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry for cutting out. Let's not. But like, I never really felt that, you know. I never really felt the need to avoid coming to my room because I knew there was a fight. So I'm truly grateful to him, you know, for like helping me with the transition. Because a lot of things I only pick them up with, okay, so when you come to rest, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. Because like I said at the beginning, you know, but when I came to varsity, I was stressing about other things that I didn't really think rest life in my head. So I didn't know like the transition, what I need, what I didn't need. And then it was only through having a roommate that I learned, okay, so this is what you need, this is what you don't need, this is how you basically should be conducting yourself if you want to lead a certain life. But the transition was crazy. It really was crazy.
Yeah. So, Mr. Sambo, speaking about roommate from hell, do you want to share your roommate from hell version with the listeners?
Sambo.
Yeah, so basically I didn't have a roommate. It was not that difficult, but like for me, I was homesick, so I had to like adapt.
Yeah, that hits you.
Beginning to live alone and stuff. So yeah, to me, I was not homesick. It's just that I had to adapt. I had to move into a pattern of doing my own things, like cooking for myself, because at home it's not like you don't cook, you do clean, but like there are people who help you to elevate that burden. You understand? You have siblings, your parents.
Yeah.
Sure.
But then when you move to rent, you're on your own. You have to like cook for yourself, you have to clean for yourself, you have to ensure that every day there's food, you have to ensure that, and it's a lot of logistics to come to think about it. Like
adulting is hard.
Let's call it adulting simply. So Mr. Summer, speaking about roommate from hell, do you want to share your experience with us about roommate from hell?
Well,
Share the story, Mr. Summer. Share the story. If it doesn't bring back any PTSD, of course.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I had
any PTSD.
I also had the coolest roommates, man. How can I put this?
Mr. Sambo, I'm losing you there.
Technology is disappointing us.
Can you hear me now, brother?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
We can now.
All right. As I was saying, I had two roommates in a single year in 2020. Yeah, 20. The first one was a fellow black brother from, I won't mention the province, but I had this other brother of mine, man. He was a cool dude. We just had how can I put this? We had different religious beliefs, and religion is one big part of my life. So the first day he came, he came to me. He was like, "Where, man?" I was like, "Sure, brother." He was like, "Oh, my name is, and I'm gonna be a new roommate." I was like, "Oh, man, that's crazy. Good, great stuff. Nice meeting you." Because there was one person who prayed for his roommate way before I left home for varsity, because I understood how a roommate can affect a person's varsity life. So he found a lot of books on my desk, on my rest table. So most of those books were religious books. To mention a few of them, there's one that is written, how faith works. That's a book by Pastor Chris Kilome. And the other one is Heaven is Real. That's one beautiful book. I recommend everyone to read. But I'm not about yeah. So he found those books on my table.
You're not about that.
Yeah.
No, I was saying you're not about that. When you said
yeah, sure. So he found those books on my table. He was like, "Oh, so you're a Christian?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm a Christian." And he started telling me in how he believes in science, and in how he does not really understand in how Jesus is God. So, well, to me, that was one assignment that I had to give to this guy. I was like, okay, let me try. I was like, well, thank you for this assignment. I'm gonna try and break it down to him, but we didn't really spend much time, because he then decided to move out to this other race. And then the second brother came forth, a very nice brother, man. And we stayed. So I did not really have such issues with regards to. I did not really experience I'm a roommate from hell, as Ukatleko calls them.
Yeah.
That's the real roommates from hell are there, guys. Like when I listen to other people and I hear the stories, it's sad.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And some of them, the craziest thing is like they start off like as the best roommates. I feel like people would be fronting and all, and then 3 months down the line, somebody actually shows you their true colors. It's like for the first couple of months they were trying to tiptoe around you, find what works and what doesn't work with you, and then after that they like show you their original true colors.
Yeah.
But lucky enough for me, I genuinely never experienced that. I had what I can call the best startup roommate.
Yeah, man.
And Caterpillar, as you were saying, like for you personally, how has the transition been? Because you lived alone for the whole year, you never even had a roommate. So how has that been really for you? Transitioning without somebody there, I guess, to guide you.
Very like earlier in the podcast, I spoke about my I want to call it a bad habit, but it was not a habit. But like I don't know where I got this mentality of like, nah, man, I'm gonna be alone. So yeah. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good, because like I was starting to like feel lonely, and because I'm always in my four walls sitting alone. I didn't go out and interact with other niggas as much. I was always in my room.
And we've been scolding you about that, man.
Yeah, you have. But like it was quite kind of difficult for me. But like I was always in my room. I didn't talk to no one. It really made me homesick for a very, very, very long time. But as soon as I got a hang of it, like, alright, we're all here to do the same thing. We are relatable people. We're all students. We all have like the same problem. So once I got it in my head, which was, I feel, already too late, because I think it was September when we returned from lockdown. It was already too late. That's when I started interacting with gents in my building, meeting new people and stuff, and interacting more with these guys, which made the experience more nicer, because like I started enjoying myself. Yeah.
So to first years out there and everybody else, whether you're moving in, not even first years, just everybody else transitioning from one environment to another, I guess the point we are getting here is like, go out, interact with people. As Kat had put it in the beginning, you don't have to go out partying, you don't have to do certain things. Just interact with people, and eventually you'll find your kind. To put it in simple.
Very important thing: never, ever, ever, ever try to fit in. Never, ever try to fit in.
Never, ever try to fit in.
Never, ever.
That's the I've seen a lot of people lose
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah. Same here. Same here.
Or I don't want to say lose themselves, but I've seen a lot of people like try so hard to fit in. They
Yeah.
lost sense of who they were. Okay, I don't understand how that sounds different, but you know,
It does.
I believe you guys understand
Sounds
what I'm
well.
trying to say. You know, I've seen.
Well articulated, actually. Like, be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Know who you are, man.
Be true to yourself.
Exactly.
Just know who you are.
Growing up,
And like,
I'm from a Christian family, and
yeah,
to tell a bit more about myself, I'm a born again Christian. So I had to be true to myself, understanding Khoriazin, blessing, you are a Christian, you're born again. I'm not really into this partying life. Ne? I'm not disregarding the people who do, but I had to be true to myself, Khoriazin. As much as the pressure was super high on the partying life compared to the church life, I had to choose church life over partying life because that's who I am.
ladies and gentlemen, the pressure.
The pressure is real.
You know, like with peers, there aren't any parents around, Joe. Like they convince you with, nah, man. You know, like your parents are not around.
Yeah.
You can come back around 3 in the morning. Nobody's gonna ask you. Nobody's going to expect you to explain why you're coming back at 3 in the morning. You know, our uncle downstairs don't question you. You know?
Yeah. I mean, they're only there to work, and they do their work.
So last words.
Yeah, no, ladies and like the pressure. Sorry.
So last words to the first years. What last advice? What would you say to a first year going in this year? What would you say to them?
For me personally, you know, like I've said, you know, the transitioning and all that. But one thing I've learned, you need people. You know, I think I came to Varsity with the same mindset as Caterpillar, which is, nah, I'm fine alone and all that. But then I learned, which this is very far away from home. So if something was to happen to me, these are the first guys that would know about it. My family would know that something happened to me because of these guys. You know, so I guess my advice to first years is go out. You know. Interact with people. Eventually you're going to meet your kind. Like I said, now I have the best circle that I genuinely could have asked for. You know, these guys really, like, this is home away from home. You know, this is family away from them for me. So the advice I would give to first years, go out, man. You know, you'll eventually find your kind. The whole mindset that you can survive alone, I mean, sure, others can, but I don't really think when you're in a totally different and new environment, you really need people, you know, because they are also lost. I know, not lost really, but then they are also not sure of what to do or how to do it. So I feel like now we learn new things together, you know, and as Mr. Sambo had said at some point, we find ourselves more. You know, you come here knowing who you are, but then you learn more things about yourself. Sure. So yeah, my advice to first years, go out, live your best life. And by living your best life, you don't necessarily, I sounds like I'm disregarding people who go out partying and all that. I'm just like, I'm trying to put it like this, which that's not really living your best life. You know, you should be okay with like there's no universal definition of living your best life. Because my niece constantly tells me, which I lead a boring life how I live. But then right now I understand, which this is me. This is my idea of fun. So exactly. The point I'm trying to make is like there's no universal definition of living your best life. If living your best life is, as Kat had put it, playing chess, you know, FIFA, live your best life, experience your first year like that. If you're a party animal, if you are into parties, going out, wilding out, live your best life like that, you know. So I guess that's my advice to first years.
Mr. Blessing?
Sure. I just have a statement to say. It's just a statement. Yeah. That's my advice to everybody. And the statement says, it goes rather, never try to fit in, but rather stand out. Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, yes. Good stuff.
I'm done.
Great stuff. And Caterpillar?
Yeah, man. So now what I basically say is, guys, work hard. Don't forget why you came here in the first place. When you're living your best life, work hard, study hard, you know. Yeah, and when you come here, come prepared, you know. Have an idea where you're gonna live. Yeah, plan. Even though it's not a well structured, thought out plan, just have an idea, have what's going on, just find people. There are a lot of people out there who help first years with things. Find people who know. Yeah, if you can, then come. If you don't, it's totally fine. Just come, yeah, you'll be sorted out. That's guaranteed. So yeah, guys, work hard when you get here. Don't forget why you're here, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your proud boy from Limpopo. This has been our first time broadcasting, and we hope to hear reviews from you. What can we improve? What can we try to do better? This is like Mr. Sambo had said at the beginning. It's not about wanting to be what. It's more like, I don't know, feeding this craving of, I don't know, at some point having wanted to be on radio.
Yeah.
So now this is like this is a dream come true.
Sure.
In a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and so yeah, guys, that was it, man. You can catch us on our social media platforms. Mr. Sambo.
Ladies and gentlemen, from me, a blessing, Ngobi, Wagasambo. Batsina bagisha batsina makhuluma bathi ke inbotsana Sambo. Kufanele ukuthi uyela eMpumalanga nakhulunywa khona Swati. Ngithi ke catch me on my social media platforms: Facebook, Blessing M Sambo, Instagram, Blessing M Sambo, or just Blessing Keys. Twitter, it's not so active, but yeah, it's also Blessing M Sambo. Ladies and gentlemen, from me to you, it's nothing but love. Thank you very much for listening to us. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for everything, actually. And yeah, man, we're looking forward to hear from you guys, what you're thinking, your thoughts, your ideas, your expectations, your feelings. As in, from me to you, it's nothing but love.
ladies and gentlemen, proud Limpopian signing out.
Yo, I really shy.
Nice. Thank you, Mato. Thank you. You see, like, this is what happens this is what I meant when I said going raw. This is like legit worthy of being posted, so we can edit it, and then see what happens.
Yeah, tlhakantshang chief. Nabangkimit ko yung yo and eyakufela ka.
A podcast. Come on.
Exactly.
Let's let you go, Mr. Sambo. Take a rest. Take a break.
I think rest, man.
Asambi si ulala, man.
Address to it.
666.
Address to it.
Aglalwe.
Address to it.
All right.
Sure.